Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a really fascinating look into the world of elite golf.
Yeah, specifically what separates the very best players from, well, from the rest of us.
Exactly. We've got this intriguing document here. It's titled The 8 Essential 100% Trackers in Every Top Golfer's Swing.
Hmm.
And our mission really is to pull out the absolute core insights from this guide. We want to reveal those, universal movement patterns that elite golfers share.
Regardless of their individual style or flair.
Right. Think of this as your shortcut, maybe, to understanding the foundational mechanics, the things top coaches actually use as fixed reference points for analysis and training.
That's a great way to put it, because these aren't just tips or theories floating around. These 100% trackers, as the source calls them, are described as reliable checkpoints.
Okay, reliable checkpoints.
Yeah, they're the movements that genuinely seem to distinguish professionals from amateurs. They show up with, like, near universality.
So we're going to unpack what these movements look like.
Exactly. We'll get into what they look like, why they're absolutely crucial for, consistent contact, good direction, and maximum speed.
And maybe even the coaching cues.
Yes, and even share the specific coaching cues that help players master them. It's really about getting to the essence of world-class ball striking.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Because our source really hammers home this idea that elite golfers, despite having incredibly unique styles.
Oh, completely different looks sometimes.
Totally. Some have a big loop, others are super compact, but they all exhibit this small, consistent set of movement patterns that show up with near universality. These are the 100% trackers. It's like their personal rhythm might be different, but the fundamental physics stays the same.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is that these aren't just, cosmetic preferences. They're not stylistic choices you just happen to see on tour.
Right.
These are foundational motion patterns. They genuinely separate amateurs from pros.
Yeah.
And that's precisely why they're so valuable for coaches.
Because they're fixed anchors.
Exactly. They serve as fixed anchors in swing analysis. So it means no matter a player's personal quirks or aesthetics, these 8 movements are pretty much always there in top-tier performance.
Because they produce the best results.
Because they are what produce optimal results. They're kind of the non-negotiables for speed and consistency.
That distinction between personal flair and fundamental physics makes so much sense. It really is like understanding the universal grammar of a swing, regardless of the player's accent, so to speak.
That's a good analogy.
So let's dive into these universal checkpoints one by one. And I want to start with number 1, head movement at impact. Because I think for so many of us, the immediate thought is just keep your head perfectly still.
Right, that old chestnut.
But the source hints it's a bit more dynamic. What's the biggest misconception here?
That's a fantastic question, and yeah, you hit on a really common one. Many people hear still and think absolutely rigid, locked in place. But what elite players consistently demonstrate is that the head, while stable through impact, actually moves slightly backward away from the target right at the strike.
Accurate.
Yeah, and it's not a static hold, it's more of a dynamic counterbalance that allows the body to really release properly through the shot.
Ah, dynamic stability.
Yeah.
So why is this slight backward move, this dynamic stability, why is that so crucial?
Well, it's vital for a few reasons. It helps preserve your posture through impact, which is huge. It stabilizes the low point of the swing.
That spot where the club bottoms out.
Exactly. Crucial for hitting the ball cleanly before the ground. And importantly, it keeps your eyes trained on the ball just long enough for that truly compressed strike.
Gotcha. And the coaching cue.
The coaching cue they give is pretty clear. Keep your eyes behind the ball and wait until your right shoulder touches your chin. Only then follow the ball.
Interesting. Okay, let's shift focus then to another foundational lower body move, number 2, knee action in the backswing. This one really defines how a player loads energy, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's key for loading.
So what are we looking for here specifically?
Okay, so what elite players consistently show is that the trail knee, the right knee for a right-hander, it remains flexed and stable. It resists straightening too much.
Right.
While the lead knee, the left one, works slightly inward towards the ball or even slightly behind it. It's not just a casual bend, it's a very specific action.
What's the real power or the benefit behind that specific knee action? Why does it matter?
Well, this controlled knee movement is critical because it's how you efficiently load pressure into that trail leg. You're building up potential energy.
Like coiling a spring.
Exactly like coiling a spring. This deep load then sets the stage for a powerful well-sequenced transition into the downswing. It helps make sure the power comes from the ground up in the right order.
Makes sense. And the cue for that?
The coaching cue to remember is load pressure into the right leg. It's fine for the left knee to soften inward.
Okay. Moving on to number 3, we have pelvis lift at impact. Now, this one is really interesting because it feels counterintuitive for a lot of golfers to think about pushing up in a golf swing.
Yeah, you mostly think about staying down.
Right. Yet the source says the pelvis, the hips, are actually higher at impact than they were at setup. What's the fundamental physics here? What makes this upward push so vital for club speed?
Yeah, that's where some real magic happens, and it is a common misunderstanding. This isn't just a slight drift upwards. It's a direct expression of using the ground, leveraging ground reaction forces.
Okay, like jumping.
Precisely. Think about jumping. You push down hard into the ground to propel yourself up. In golf, that same kind of upward force generated by pushing actively against the ground through your feet,
Right.
that translates into incredible club head speed, and it also helps manage that low point consistently for a perfect strike.
Yeah.
It's kind of the unsexy secret to adding power without just swinging harder with your arms.
So it's about channeling force from the ground up and the coaching cue, if you're trying to feel it.
Yeah. The cue is pretty simple. Imagine a slight upward push as you strike the ball. Feel like you're pushing off the ground through impact.
Got it. All right. The 4th tracker is a massive one for generating power. The X factor stretch in transition. The source even says this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
What exactly is happening here? And why is this particular separation between hips and shoulders so critical for power?
This is really the engine of the swing's power, you could say. What it looks like is during that crucial moment, that transition from backswing to downswing.
That little pause at the top.
Well, not even a pause sometimes, but that change of direction. The hips are already starting to turn toward the target, while the chest, the upper body, is still facing somewhat away from the target.
Ah, the twist.
Exactly. It creates this powerful torsion, this stretch, like twisting a rubber band or winding up a spring really tight. This separation, this X factor, stores immense elastic energy.
And that allows you to unleash it later.
Precisely. It lets the player release that stored speed very late in the downswing, right where it counts at the ball, instead of, casting from the top and wasting it early.
Makes total sense. And the key coaching cue to get that feeling.
The main cue here is fundamental. Start the downswing with your hips, not with your arms. Let the lower body initiate.
Okay. Our 5th tracker, forward weight shift. This feels like something that should be intuitive, maybe, but it often isn't for amateurs. What should we actually be seeing with pressure distribution by the time we hit the ball?
Yeah, you'd think so, but it's often missed. By impact, what you absolutely must see is pressure and mass clearly shifted onto the lead leg.
So for a righty, onto the left leg.
Half the left leg, yes. Think about throwing a punch or swinging a baseball bat. You instinctively shift your weight forward. It generates power and provides stability.
And why is this forward shift so absolutely vital in golf, especially, say, with the irons?
Oh, it's critical. Absolutely critical. It supports hitting the ball first, then the turf, that ball first contact, essential for good iron play, especially if you want to hit down and take that nice divot after the ball.
Right.
And it also really stabilizes the club through the strike zone, gives you much more consistency and control over the club face.
And the cue.
Pretty straightforward for this one. Press into the lead side as you hit. Feel that pressure driving forward.
Okay. Number 6 is the lead arm expended at impact. Now, many amateurs, myself included sometimes, tend to let that lead arm, the left arm for righties, bend through impact. What does it look like for the pros?
Yeah, the chicken wing, as it's sometimes called.
Exactly.
What you see with elite players is the lead arm is nearly straight through impact. It's not rigidly locked, that would be bad too, but it's firm and extended.
Not collapsing.
Not collapsing. When amateurs bend that arm, often they're trying to sort of hit or scoop at the ball, and they lose control of the club face and the swing arc.
And why does keeping it extended matter so much? I'm guessing control, direction, contact.
Precisely. A firm, extended lead arm helps control both the club face orientation where it's pointing and the radius of the swing arc. Keeping that radius consistent is huge.
Right.
And that consistency in radius and face control leads directly to more centered contact on the club face and those tighter, more predictable start lines that really define elite ball striking.
And the coaching cue is pretty direct.
Very direct. Keep the lead arm long and steady through impact. Focus on that feeling of extension.
Okay. Now, specifically for irons, we hit number 7, forward shaft lean. What does this look like? And why is it so critical for a good iron shot? Whereas maybe with a driver, you wouldn't want as much or any.
Great point about the driver difference. With irons, what forward shaft lean looks like is the hands being clearly ahead of the club head at the moment of impact.
So the shaft is leaning towards the target.
Exactly. The shaft is visibly leaning forward away from the target. This is a real hallmark of a professional iron strike, because with an iron, unlike a driver, you want a hit down on the ball. You want to make contact with the ball before you hit the turf.
Right, it's about compressing the ball against the ground.
You got it. It's about compressing the ball. What that forward lean does is it compresses the ball against the turf and the club face, transferring energy really efficiently.
Okay.
It also de-locks the club appropriately, meaning it effectively reduces the actual loft on the club face at impact, which helps you get that piercing, controlled ball flight. And critically, it ensures that essential descending angle of attack that pros use to control distance and spin precisely.
And the cue reflects that.
Spot on. Strike the ball with your hands ahead of the club head. Simple, but fundamental for irons.
And finally, our 8th tracker. This one really seems to tie everything together, the kinematic sequence. Sounds pretty technical, like the master conductor of the swing.
It kind of is. It's the efficiency blueprint for the whole motion.
So what does it look like in action?
What it looks like is speed building up from the ground, moving through the body in a very consistent, specific order. First the hips, then the chest or torso, then the arms, and finally the club itself.
Like cracking a whip.
That is the perfect analogy. Think of cracking a whip. The handle starts relatively slowly, then the energy transfers along the whip, and the tip just explodes with incredible speed right at the very end.
So it's about creating that whip-like effect through the body and into the club.
Absolutely. This precise sequence, hips, chest, arms, club, is how elite players maximize the transfer of energy through their entire body and into the club head.
Making sure the peak speed is at the ball.
Exactly. Ensuring that peak speed is delivered precisely at the ball, not wasted before it. It's all about timing and efficiency. And honestly, it's what separates a strong amateur swing from a truly powerful, efficient professional one.
And the cue for that sequence.
The cue for this one sums it up perfectly. Build speed from the bottom upward. Feel it starting from your legs and hips.
Okay, wow. That's a lot to take in, but it paints a really clear picture of these universal elements. Now that we've really understood what these 8 trackers are and why they're so common in elite performance.
Yeah, the what's and why are crucial.
Let's talk about the how. How do you actually use this stuff? Because turning this knowledge into actionable steps, that's where the real progress happens for any golfer listening.
Absolutely. And the source gives some really practical advice here, almost like a coach's checklist for practice and improvement.
Good. What's the first step?
First, it really emphasizes filming with purpose. Don't just hit balls. Record your swings, ideally from both face-on and down-the-line angles.
Okay.
Then use these 8 trackers as your checklist. Go through your video and actually score yourself on each one. Are you doing it? Partially. Not at all. This helps you focus your practice where it's needed most, rather than just, guessing or working on random things.
That makes perfect sense. Don't just record, analyze. Diagnose yourself.
Yeah.
And speaking of focus, the second piece of advice seems really crucial. Don't try to chase all 8 trackers at once.
Oh, definitely not. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, prioritize. Identify your single biggest limiting factor. For example, if your weight shift is way off,
Yeah, like you're hanging back.
address that before you start obsessing about, say, perfect forward shaft lean. Trying to fix everything at once just leads to confusion and really slow progress,
Yeah.
or no progress.
Exactly right. And once you've picked your priority, maybe 1 or 2 things max, the third point is key. Pair a specific, simple cue with a physical feel.
Okay, connect the thought to the body.
Precisely. Attach a single cue you can repeat, like maybe eyes behind ball for head stability, or press left for that left side pressure. Then rehearse that specific movement with slow, deliberate repetitions. Really feel what the correct move is like. That helps ingrain the pattern into your muscle memory.
Slow motion practice, got it. What else?
Transition discipline is another big takeaway, linking back to that X factor.
Right, protecting the stretch.
Yeah. To protect that crucial coil of energy, you really need to resist the urge to pull down hard with your arms right from the top. That kills the sequence.
So let the lower body lead.
Let the lower body lead the way, hips first, then the chest follows naturally. Allow that stored energy to unwind efficiently down to the ball.
Okay. And the last piece of advice.
And finally, especially for those working on their iron play, really focus on those strike checkpoints we talked about. At impact, verify maybe through video or field drills that you have that forward shaft lean and a long extended lead arm.
The non-negotiables for good iron strikes.
Pretty much. Those 2 points especially will promote that compressed ball first contact that pros achieve so consistently. That's how you get those clean, powerful, predictable iron shots.
Okay, this has been incredibly insightful.
Mm.
So pulling it all together, what does this all mean for you, the listener? Whether you're a golfer trying to break 90 or 80, or even just someone fascinated by the secrets of elite performance in any field.
Well, I think the implication is pretty profound. If these 8, often quite subtle, almost invisible movements are universally measurable among the world's best golfers,
Yeah.
if they really are the foundational motion patterns that separate the amateurs from the pros, what does this deep dive suggest about mastering any complex skill?
Good question.
Whether it's a sport, playing an instrument, a craft, maybe even a professional discipline like surgery or coding, it seems like true mastery often lies not in the flashy stuff, not in the complicated techniques,
But in the basics.
but in the precise, consistent, and deeply ingrained control of the, frankly, unsexy fundamentals. That's where real sustainable excellence seems to live.
The precise control of the unsexy fundamentals. I like that. A powerful thought to end on.
It really seems to be the case across many domains.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the universal truths of the elite golf swing. Keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.